What's going on, everybody? It's Davey from the 80s, and you are now entering the Cinema Chop Shop, so park your ass right there. And while you're there, don't forget to hit the like, the share, the subscribe button. Also, if you check the link below, you see a Patreon account. If you click it, you become a member. All you got to do is try to recommend movies and music and trailers for me to react to, so click the damn link. Now, with that being said, we're here today to review Insidious, The Red Door. So I finally went to go see Insidious, The Red Door. I saw this yesterday, and I'm just going to be honest with you up front. The movie's pretty mediocre, right? The movie follows the family from the first movie. You have the son and the father. It's in the trailer, so don't say I'm spoiling anything. In the trailer, they show the son and the father. They've been hypnotized to forget everything, and then slowly but surely, as they get older, I think it's like a time jump is like 9 years into the future. They slowly start to unravel the truth, and this starts to kind of like bring back the events that happened in the earlier films. Now, it's been a while since I've seen the Insidious movies, but you really kind of don't need to rewatch the older Insidious movies because they kind of give you a recap of what the hell's going on in this movie. It's not, you don't really need to rewatch the movies. I mean, you can if you want to, but at the same time, you don't really need to. Like I said, they give you a kind of a cool little recap. Let's just go ahead and break this movie down. One, the music in the movie. Music in the movie is fantastic. Um, it goes perfectly along with the scenes. You want the eerie vibes. Everything just works perfectly with it. Musically, sonically, is perfect. Now, is this movie scary? Me personally, I'm not scared of scary movies like that. Like, scary movies do not scare me. I've seen way too many. So when people ask me, is the movie scary? Like, I'm the wrong person to ask that because movies don't really scare me like that. But this movie does attempt to have a lot of jump scares. It's very, very cliche. It does this thing where you notice something out in the distance and it's out of focus and it slowly starts to approach the character. The character isn't really aware or too sure of what the hell's going on, and then boom, jump scare, or boom, fake jump scare. It's a very, 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 very very typical and very predictable thing that happens throughout this movie. Is it done well? Sort of, I guess. I mean, like, it's cool. It's a cinematically, it looks cool. There's a couple of scenes that I mean, me watching the movie, it looks good, but as a movie watcher, I've seen it too many times for it to be as effective as they thought that it was going to be effective. Um, as far as the dad and son, which are the characters that we follow throughout most of this damn movie, the characters are okay. I mean, like I said, I just want to really dive into the storyline in this movie. The storyline in this movie leaves is very lackluster, and it really feels like they're grabbing at straws in this movie in order to try to continue this franchise. And it really feels like it might be time to just go ahead and hang it up because I feel like we're running out of movie here. You needed to kind of retcon something that happened earlier in other movies and then bring it back just to continue and have another sequel, and then honestly, like, it wasn't even done well. Like, as I'm watching the movie, I'm just like, this is predictable. It's not something that blows me away. Even when we get to the further aspects of it, which is usually what I really enjoy about the Insidious movies, it wasn't really anything cool. Like, like, I don't know, like, this movie was very, very mediocre, and to me, it shouldn't have been made if they didn't have like something, if they didn't have something in mind. Like, if they didn't have something like in mind specifically what they wanted to do, I really don't understand why they went along with this movie. It really felt like they kind of was like, hey, how can we make another sequel? And they were like, oh, well, we could do this. Oh, yeah, we'll go ahead and run with that. Let's do that. It didn't really feel organic. It felt forced. I didn't really like this movie. As far as new characters, we have a new character. I believe her name is Chris. And there's a really cringy ass joke that happens like within the first 30 minutes of the movie. That joke was cringy as shit. I like Chris's character, but I just don't really see how the character's person isn't realistic, and it's not realistic because she's black and black people don't act like that. But it's mostly because the way that she responds to things in a way that you would assume that a normal person would. But then she kind of just goes back into story mode where then she starts reacting based off of what will make the story more interesting or what will make more sense to the story. Um, Not very non-believable character, very predictable where that plot was going with those two characters. Again, like this movie just didn't do it for me. It tried to continue the Conjuring, the Insidious universe, and to me, it just kind of like it felt kind of lackluster. But I will say this: the one thing I will give Insidious credit for is that they have a small circle of demons and ghouls and goblins that they use in their movies, and they don't really introduce new ones. They did introduce one new one, but he was pretty cool. Um, they don't really do that, and I kind of appreciate that more because when you watch the Conjuring movies, right? You watch the Conjuring movies and you have nothing but new characters over and over and over and over and over again, right? And it's like, okay, you kind of get overloaded with characters. This one, it gives you the characters, the lady in black, you have the lipstick demon, and those two demons alone, like they're super interesting. And they've carried this universe for a very long time. You don't need to have a bunch of an assorted lineup of demons in order to make these movies interesting. Those two demons hold this franchise up, and honestly, the lipstick demons look is super fucking iconic. But again, like I said, like this movie just didn't do it for me. Like I get it, like it was supposed to have legacy characters, supposed to bring people back. It was supposed to bring the storyline back to like the roots, and it just didn't do it for me. I found myself kind of bored watching this movie. It was very mediocre. Um, and at some point, I kind of want to low key say that the movie's kind of bad. You know what I'm saying? So, um, if I had to give this movie like a actual physical grade, this movie's getting like a C minus. Uh, I appreciate the cinematography. I actually like Dalton's character. Like he was actually very interesting. His pops was kind of mediocre, to be honest with you. Like I said, I appreciate the cinematography. Music was banging. Love the lipstick demon, but overall the story was just lacking in this movie, and that's what it's all about. It's all about the story, and if you can't tell a cohesive story that keeps me entertained, then I'm going to call you out on it. So here on the Cinema Chop Shop, with great movies in three ways, count on three ways: either you get bodied and sent to the bowels of hell, and I'll tell you your movie's boss, sort of, homie, or I give you a big fat meh, which means it's Massamentos. Or I say it's spared and it's dope. Go watch it. Stop what you're doing. Go ahead and head to the movie theaters right now. Obviously, since I'm giving about a C minus, you already know that this movie is getting a big fat meh.
Not quite my tempo.
Not impressed.
But it can be better.
Mediocre.
Meh.
But the TV gave me the impression that...
We said meh. M-E-H. Meh.
Yeah, you heard it, folks. I'm giving this movie a big fat meh. It just was lackluster. In a way, it's kind of leaving me speechless because I didn't expect this movie to just be this mid. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't think it was going to be this bad. So that's all I got. Let me know if you agree or disagree, whatever the case may be. Drop it in the comment section down below. And you are now exiting the Cinema Chop Shop. Hope you guys have a magnificent day. Adios, homies.